Hello, folks. Welcome to Mindfully Get Your Shit Together. I'm going to read the little statement that I like to read for everyone, okay, before starting the show. Anyone who claims to have their shit together is a fool or in denial. We can only seek balance in an imbalanced world and do our best to stay sane. My name is Nordine Zouareg, former Mr. Universe and founder and CEO of Executive Inner Fitness. I'm here today again with you, Noah Collins, with Visual Peak Performance or Production. Visual Peak Production. Noah is here again
for episode 4.
For episode 4 to help me out with technology and be a sounding board. And so today's topic is meditation is not a gimmick, but a lifesaver. So before we start talking about this, let's do our breathing exercise. Okay, we're going to do 3 deep breaths. And for that, folks, if you're driving, I don't care what you're driving, stop the vehicle and pull over. We're not responsible for any accident there. Please stop and pull over if you want to do this exercise or bypass it altogether. So, please sit back. Close your eyes. Inhale deep through the nose. Inhale deep through the nose. Hold it. Hold it. Exhale through the nose. Inhale deep. Hold it. Hold it. Exhale. One more time. Inhale deep. Good, primed for success. Okay, ready to tackle all challenges of life today. All right, so let's talk about this topic, this important topic that is meditation. Okay, because we see that it's a good thing. I think that there's a lot more awareness on meditation now than there were a few years ago. I'm so glad to see this. I've been meditating for a long time now, and I think it's people are thinking of meditation, and I'm not saying everyone, but it's almost like a trend, it's trendy, becoming trendy.
But that's nice because I feel like people used to view it as they used to view it in such a terrible way. You know what I mean? People
Yeah,
who
exactly.
Didn't know much about it would be like, "Oh, you're just sitting down, closing your eyes." You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk about my own experience about with meditation. So I come from a background of fitness, obsessive fitness, bodybuilding. Man, that's obsessive. I love bodybuilding. It's a passion of mine. But I got to a point where I was losing my mind. I was around the world competing as a professional athlete, and as a world champion Mr. Universe, people expected a lot from me. I had to be in shape all the time, and you know what that means. 365 days a year, you had to be on super strict diet, and traveling, I was, from one plane to another, speaking in Japan, and the next day I had to be in New Zealand, next day I had to be in Italy. So, it takes a lot, and I was not meditating. Okay, so until I met an amazing person, his name is Dr. Dharma Singh Khalsa. He's the author of the Brain Longevity best-selling book, and also the author of 8 different best-selling books. Dr. Dharma is also a medical doctor and the founder of the Alzheimer's prevention, the APF, Alzheimer's Prevention Foundation. Sorry, Dharma, but he I met Dharma over 20 years ago, where he, we kind of just bumped into each other in a gym.
Wow.
And I was speaking French to then a colleague of mine who was working out with me, and he overheard us, and he came and started talking to me in French, and I started talking to him in French, and he stopped me. He said, "Oh no, that's the extent of my French." So we kind of bonded, and I became Dharma's coach, and he became my mentor. So we kind of traded. He taught me meditation, and I taught him exercise, physical exercise. Not that Dharma didn't know. He's a doctor, Harvard-trained doctor, so he knows. But still, that's the way we did it. So, and then later on, he became a very close friend of the family. So anyway, when I started, for the first month or so, I felt horrible.
Oh man.
While it's
doing it,
yes, because here's what happened. You're talking about someone who never. Well, it's not correct. I meditated. I was doing. If folks remember, I talked about my story in a different show, and I will be talking about my story, personal story, my birth, etc. in other shows. When I was, going home after the bullies beat me, I would go into a ritual of crying. That was meditation. So when I learned the proper ways of meditating with Dharma, he for 30 days I was going. I was crying each session. While meditating. So I called Dharma, and he started laughing. And I said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "You're cleaning up, my friend. You're cleaning up, my friend. All the shit is coming out, and just keep doing it. I'll give you 40 days, 10 more days to go, and you're good." So I continued, and I never stopped then. Since then, never stopped. So
30 days to build a habit, too.
so it's for me. It's more about it's not the meditation practice itself. It's the aftermath of the practice, where you prime your day. You feel you're able to be more proactive, respond to event in a positive way rather than react. Meditation is not a gimmick. It's not this woo-woo thing. Meditation allows you to be more aware. So I'll give you an example. About 30 years ago, the Champs-Élysées Avenue, was very narrow. Have you seen Chevy Chase Lampoon, American Lampoon Vacation, or whatever that title is, where he goes around the Arc de Triomphe, around and around, he can't get out. So that's how, the brain of a non-meditative person is. You're always chasing your own, tail, and so you have so many issues, and there is no traffic there. You know what I mean? It's too congestion, too much congestion, traffic congestion, too many cars. So what meditation does, so what happened to that Champs-Élysées Avenue, they fixed it, they made it bigger. So what happens that the traffic became a lot more clear and free. So the brain is the same way, okay? Meditation allows that your brain or gives you more, awareness. It's not that there's less cars. You still have as many issues, but now you have more room to deal with those issues in a more proactive way. So, not overwhelmed. So meditation eliminates the overwhelm. Okay?
It also forces you to be present too.
Meditation does not force anything. When you force meditation, that's not
All right,
meditation.
that was terrible.
Okay, so
wording.
no, that was you see what meditation does. It's look, we're looking. I think it's Deepak Chopra that said that you're looking for the non-thinking, that little gap where you're not thinking. That could be like a fraction of a second, and that's success in meditation. You may not even get there. For me, sitting down and letting those thoughts come in and using a mantra to sort of come back. You're not pushing them away. You're just coming back to where you need to be at the present moment, right? So either using a mantra or connecting to your breath. I'm not here. This show is not about teaching you how to meditate. We have another show on this, on the topic of how to meditate. But this is about meditation, not a gimmick. It's a life savior. So once you start meditating and you get to a flow, where you feel great after the fact, now we're talking about life saving. Because let me illustrate to you an event that happened not long ago. I was sitting at a restaurant, and there was a gentleman who was having an argument with an older man. And at first I thought it was his father, so I didn't want to get involved. And then as the older man got really mad, he started voicing and speaking louder, so we understood that it was an argument about money, and it was not his father. And at a certain point, the younger gentleman lacked totally respect and pushed him, and so I had to get in the middle,
At that point.
and so, but before doing that, I got involved with my own ego. Okay? So I had two choices. One is to use my ego and sort of be as violent as this gentleman. Or the other was to just take a deep breath, walk towards these people, try to protect the older man, which I did, and ask the gentleman to walk away. Otherwise, he would suffer consequences, not from me, but I had my phone ready to call the police. So I used proactivity, which is more of a loving thing. It comes from a loving place, a space where proactivity, is natural. Okay, reactivity comes from ego. You react to things without thinking about the consequences, so to speak. All right. So because it could have been detrimental. A fight could have broken, and we could have ended up in jail, and so that's why did I behave the way I behaved in a proactive way? It's because I was fresh out of meditation.
Wow.
You see, and that is why I'm saying it's a life savior. It really helps you to gain awareness. And it's almost like you are able to assess a situation in a fraction of a second. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's why meditation, primes you to a successful day, simply because it gives you the ability, to make assessment. And as if if you were not meditating, if you were not in a mindful zone, you react, and those
You already got so much pulling on you
and
at that point.
there's so much stuff in your head that you're fearful, so to speak.
And
And
at that point, we couldn't blame you. If we had that much pulling on us too.
exactly. So fear make you do desperate things. So meditation is not a gimmick. It's a life savior. Okay, understand that. So I can give you another illustration of my own grandpa, my grandfather on my father's side. My father never meditated, but he prayed. He was a storyteller, a teller. He spoke for his passion was speaking. I think I got this from him too. He would gather people at home and tell them ancient stories. And so his father was a very quiet man. And he lived up to 98 years old and passed away in his bed, just didn't wake up one day, and it was peaceful. But my grandpa, he meditated. Okay, he prayed, but also meditated.
Which I think I've heard there's a connection between the two.
They say, my personal opinion about prayer and meditation, they complement each other. Okay, one is, voicing or asking, and the meditation is receiving. But for me, meditation is far beyond, just the mere fact of sitting down and getting rid of the thoughts, which is not really what it is. It is sitting down and going to a place where you feel at peace. Okay, because remember, we have
such an effect.
We have
who haven't done it.
Exactly. We have 24 hours. Even in our sleep, we can be not peaceful. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, but when you get into that meditative zone, you are somewhere else where you're completely at peace. You understand? So my grandpa, after each prayer, he sat down and completely zoned out. Okay? He would go for 10, 15, 20 minutes. And that's, to me, I think, helped him stay out of trouble. It helped him perhaps live longer. There's the benefits of meditation are so many,
they say stress kills.
They're from giving you the ability to deal with stress, reducing your blood pressure, better quality of life. There are so many beneficial effects of meditation. But again, remember this: there's a difference between someone who meditates and someone who doesn't. And I've experienced it myself. I've seen so many people doing that, meditating, and I've seen the difference in their lives, and I've seen so many clients before and after their result. So it's life-saving. Another story that I remember, I was in a country called the Mauritius Islands. A beautiful country. Basically, it's a country that has a lot of temples, Buddhist temples, and a lot of 5-star hotels. And so,
sounds like a great combination.
Yeah, so I was working with a client there, and they preferred to have their beautiful room in their 5-star hotel, and I preferred to be in a bungalow near the beach with the indigenous people. So they taught me a lot.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
so
I feel like I'd be mad at myself if I was in the 5-star resort.
Yeah, the reason I did that is because I wanted to kind of embed myself into that culture. You don't do that in that 5-star hotel. So anyway, so I was there, and one night, it was midnight, okay, I was still up, and I was reading. There were so many emails, and a lot of emails were selling spirituality, you know what I mean? So I went out. I was a little frustrated and sat down on the beach. The sky was full of stars, and I decided to meditate. Needless to say, I was lost in meditation for 3 hours.
Wow.
A part of me said, you need to get out of here. What if you're staying here? And the other part of me said, and what's the problem? I'd stay here. It felt so peaceful, so relaxed, so calm, and I didn't feel my body anymore. That's what scared me at the end, because I didn't feel my body anymore, and so I wanted to get out of it to feel myself again. So I got out of it. But those are the moments where really I realized that meditation was far more than a practice, but a life savior.
Absolutely.
So for you folks that are listening, if you're not meditating, just go ahead and learn how to meditate and do it for a moment, for a few weeks. See how it feels and build a ritual of meditating.
Suggest guided meditations.
Guided meditation to start with are great, and then I'll do a specific show on how to meditate.
And hey, maybe I'll have Nordine record a guided meditation for everyone as well.
That's a possibility too. So you folks out there, share this podcast with people you know that would benefit from it, and tweet your comments. Let's participate in this discussion, because getting your life in balance is crucial to a long-lasting health and well-being. Okay? Until next time, God bless.